Hey everyone, so today we are going to make this card. I love this card. This is for my granddaughter for her birthday in July. But I'm going to be using some watercolor paper, some heavy duty watercolor paper. This is probably the best stuff that you could use for card making because it's about as thick as a heavy duty index card. And that cardstock is usually 110 and above. So I got this really cute die set off of Temu, and I did find it in one of the card supply shops, and the price difference was astronomical, so I'm happy I found it on Temu. I also found these watercolors on Temu. I love the metallics. We will use that for some spattering, but for today we're going to use the solids. And I am going to try mixing some of this little pigments up into watercolors. I do have the ingredients now, so we'll bring that into our card making videos. So I'm going to wet this paper down quite a bit just to get it soft. It will suck up the water like crazy, and I am taping it down because I don't want it to curl. And it didn't. It didn't even try, so that's good that tells me it's a good watercolor paper. I'm just using a cheap paintbrush. Nothing fancy. Watercoloring is fun. I'm not doing any type of design or anything. I'm just kind of making kind of like a tie-dye with pink, purple, and turquoise. I was checking out the blues here just to see what I liked and didn't like that blue, so I went with more of a turquoise blue. This is a purple that I'm putting down right now. I'm just dabbing it on. Now, these might look dark as I'm painting them, but they do dry down to a very pale color. And that's one thing I've learned with watercoloring. It's never the color you put down. It always dries lighter. But I'm trying to blend them in together to give it more of a tie-dyed look. And I really didn't even care if it was tie-dye. I just wanted these three colors together. They work really well together. Normally I'm an orange, pink, and yellow girl for stuff like this. But I didn't want it that light. And years ago, Kaylee had always loved pink and purple, so she probably doesn't anymore. But I did this for her, so this is what I remember as her favorites. So the one thing is when you're using watercolor is to keep your paper wet. So you'll see me constantly dipping into that bowl of water I have up there just to move that along. That pink is really pretty. So I ended up doing another sheet of this after I was done with this card because I just wanted to make more. It was such a pretty card. But I haven't put any sentiments on the other ones that I've made yet. I don't know what I'm going to do them as. They are pretty birthday cards, but they would also be a beautiful wedding card. Also you could use it for a sympathy card, unfortunately. But I think if I would do it as a sympathy card, I would use more muted colors, like grays and a little bit of black, and just make it very monochromatic. So now I'm just mixing in some more colors. I am going to make this bigger because I thought, oh, I want to cut out more than 3. So I think I got 4 out of this sheet. But I only needed 2 or 3 for the card, so there's where I'm just really slathering on some water to get this to spread. In my mind, I knew I was making a video, and I did speed this up. I think it's 1.5 times the speed. I would have done 2, but then I can't talk enough through the process. So I thought, well, I'll just keep it at 1.5 and just let you know what I'm doing. And here's where I'm blending that pink into the purple and into the blue and making another purple. That's the one thing with this color palette, is pretty cool. It's amazing when you're making cards that the possibilities are endless. You know, because I do have paint skins, and I have watercolor, and I have alcohol markers, and there's just so many things you can do to make cards. I'm not really, like steampunk. I'm not into that type of stuff. I like things that are pretty and feminine and fun, I guess. I did make another card, the day before this for my other granddaughter. Her birthday's coming up here pretty soon. So I needed to get that done and get it mailed out. And if you're watching, Izzy, happy 8th birthday from Nana and Papa. I never know who's watching them. I was kind of nervous about putting this up before Kaylee's birthday because it's not till July. But she probably wouldn't remember that I made this card for her. But I am working on birthday cards for my family, getting those done. And then I'm going to start making cards to do box sets on Etsy. And I'll be selling them in box sets. So you'll get a couple of birthday cards, a couple of thank you cards, a sympathy card, a get well card, thinking of you cards. I may even put a pet sympathy card in there. I know so many people who are losing their pets. Oh, it's awful. You know, just maybe one wedding card. Maybe not, because a lot of people don't go to weddings. Gosh, I can't remember when the last time Ellen and I went to a wedding. Wow, it's got to be at least 20 some years ago. All of our friends were already married when we got married, so. So I like the way that this is blending in, too. I love all that color. But wait till you see this when it's dry. It's so pretty. And I did go in and put some metallics in here, so that when it dried, it had a little sparkle to it. Not a lot. I didn't want a lot, but just a little bit of shimmer. You know, I love my shimmer. If you hear TV in the background, that's my husband watching basketball. And the dogs aren't barking. And it's very, very late. They should all be in bed. But I thought, I can't wait any longer. I need to do this voiceover. Alright, so now I'm going to let this dry. And when we come back, we'll start cutting out the flowers. So see, it's much more muted on here. I don't know why I'm taping these down. I think maybe because the cardstock was so thick that the die wasn't sticking to the magnet on my die cutter. I didn't want it to move because I need every little bit of that to get those flowers out of there. It's so nice having an electric die cutter. It just zoom, go right through. And it cut on the first try, which was making me very happy. So for the edges of these cards, I did cut out another part of this die set. And I don't even show you that because it was a pain in the butt. They're so thin and flimsy, I had to triple them to edge out the flowers. So once I tripled them, you know, you're gluing and gluing and gluing, and I had to wait for all that to dry. And then I wanted to make more of these cards, so I ended up cutting more. So my entire day I've been working on this die set and those flowers to make several cards. Well, 3. I made 3. I'll show you the 2 I made at the end of this video. So hang tight when I wave goodbye, because I will show them. And excuse my bruises. I had a rough week with puppies this week. They're going outside more and trying to get Riley in the house. You have to pick him up. That's the only way to bring him in. He does not want to come back in. So when I pick him up, he weighs more than Ellie, and he weighs more than Finn. So when I pick him up, his little back legs get kicking because he doesn't want to go in. So he gets me all the time. He doesn't do it intentionally to be mean, and I bruise so easy because of my blood thinners. I'll be so happy in July when I'm not taking those anymore. Less bruising. I had bought some lace gloves just in case my bruises on my hands were really bad. Like sometimes I get some really dark purple ones. So I would want to cover those up while I'm doing a video. I hear Puppy's growling. He's putting them to bed. Too funny. It's not them, it's Daddy Finn. Alright, so I have these 4 beautiful cutouts. So now I need to glue this white piece on. Look how thin that white piece is. But it's so pretty. I just love this. There's other parts to this die set too, where I could go in and put a solid piece in the middle to just put, one thing of color. Or you don't even have to do this watercolor background. You could just cut out paper and just do a layered die. But I really liked the idea of doing watercolor today. Just to show you that we can bring our art into card making. I would love to try these with paint skins. I think they would be gorgeous. Look how cute. I just love it. And that's just a glass paperweight that I put down to hold everything together while it's drying. So now I'm going to splatter. I got to splatter the background. It just looks better with splatter. I don't like a white background unless it's embossed or has vellum over it or whatever. I just think white is so boring. So I am going to splatter. And that is just a purple that I'm splattering. I really like these watercolors. They were so cheap on Temu. And they work really well. I don't like spending a ton of money on art supplies, that's for sure. I did not get out and work in my studio this past week. We have a porch project now, and one of our posts on our porch is rotted at the top. So Alan went and got all the stuff yesterday, so we can replace that porch post. But then we decided to replace the railings, and it's going to be a weekend project when he takes some time off. So there you go. That's pretty. Now I have to let that dry too. And that dries really fast, so I didn't even have to heat set that. Alright, so let's put it together. So I'm using a A2, which is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 card. I was thinking about doing this horizontal, but then I ended up changing it to vertical because the flowers looked better for 3 flowers on the card. So I wanted to use some leaves because this does have leaves as well. Oh my goodness, I can barely talk because I'm tired. It has these little cutout leaves that are framelets like that white piece that I put on the flower. So you'll see that here in a second. So I'm trying to decide how I'm going to place these, and then also I need to frame out that background because I don't like white on white, and I definitely didn't want black because of the flowers, and you'll see what I chose here in a minute. I am like really stuck on paper right now. It's like I'm trying to remember what colors I have because I have so many. But I'm just drawn to foils. It's so funny how you find a favorite. So I'm just going to cut this out on my die cutter. That way I know it's perfectly straight. I don't know why this one's not sped up. Either that or I'm moving really slow. I thought I sped them all up. Yeah, I don't think I sped that one up. There, now it's nice and straight. I like a beautiful straight cut. I do watch some card makers and their stuff. If they do it crooked, I'm like, oh, that's crooked. That would drive me insane. They don't change it. So it makes me go a little crazy. It's gotta be my OCD, huh? See, I always stick it on there and I'm like, it's just too white. See, now that would be fine for a wedding card or even a first communion card. That would be pretty for a first communion card. But because I was making this for a birthday card for my granddaughter, I wanted something bold. And you're not really going to see how bold it is, but that purple is just so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece. And I don't cut the middles out. Everybody's like, oh, cut the middles out, save it. I don't want the indents, so I don't cut the middles out. This is a new paper trimmer. I actually like this one better than the one that I had. So the one that I had will probably end up out in the studio. I like this one a lot. It has a scoring tab too. Here we go. I like that so much better. So I am going to use a tape runner. I had a little problem with the attaching the card because this tape runner I bought here is super sticky. Like once you put it on there, you can't move it. So I had to redo it. And that's fine. No big deal to me. I tore off the paper and saved what was good and threw the cardstock away. So it's okay. But see, I got stuck and I wasn't lined up. And you can't pick it up. It won't do it. So I'm going to go off camera here and I'm going to come back with a fresh one. And I did have one little edge on the right hand side that didn't cover. And that's probably the way I cut my base card, my cardstock. So it's not a big deal. I can trim it off on my trimmer. Here we go. Gotta do something about my lighting because my overhead and my desk light both show up there. Oh, that's irritating. I'm so used to not having any light shining on my surface. I'll have to maybe bring one of my box lights in here for filming. So I did clean up that very little piece of edge there that was showing. I'm just super picky. And then I'm going to glue this on so I have a little wiggle room because that's the hard part is making that even all the way around. And, you know, when you're new to card making, you watch everybody and they make it look so easy. It's not easy. It really isn't. The first time I did ink blending, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. She makes it look so easy. Are her pads really juicy? Because I re-inked all mine thinking maybe that was the problem. I think it's because I'm using Simon Hurley's pads, and they're different material than Gina K or what was the other one? There was another one. There's so many companies I can't even keep track of them all. I buy from a few, just little things though. But I try not to buy dies and stamps unless it's something I absolutely want. Especially when I see it on there and I go to Temu and there it is for $30 cheaper. It's sad. But I get it. They gotta make money, but I need to save money, so I'm just gonna cut out a little happy birthday, put that on my Misty and stamp it. And I am gonna use elderberry. It's a memento ink. It's not purple, but it's more like a mulberry. I can't even explain the color. But I didn't want black. I thought black was just a little too bold. And I only stamped it once. It looked good. I like that set that I'm working with right now. That's a new one for me. Lots of sentiments in there. I really wanted that flowery frame that's there on the right hand side, but the happy birthday wouldn't fit in it. I was sad. In case you're wondering what nail polish I have on, that is just a dark blue nail polish, and I use the Salty Mermaid mica powder from KCC Glitter. She sells this one called Salty Mermaid. I really like that color on there. I like a mica powder on my nails. I think it's cool. Alright, so we got that cut out. I'm going to cut one more just to thicken it up. It's like I double everything. I still have cards in my Etsy shop. I am going to pull the Mother's Day cards out and put them up for next year. I may donate those for like to Safe Space or someplace that the kids can give to their moms for Mother's Day next year. But there was one girl that I watch, Kelly Taylor. She donated cards to the moms in the NICU, which I thought was awesome. It was a great thing. So one of the girls that was, her baby was there, I guess. So they took up, Kelly donated cards and they got gift bags together for these moms, which I thought was amazing. It's so hard to have a baby in the NICU. But yeah, there's lots of places I can donate cards to. And you know me, I'm a giver, so not a problem with that. Alright, let's get this card together. So I am trying it out horizontal. I decide I just didn't like it. So I swing it around and I'm going to do the vertical. That way I can stick those cute little leaves in there. They're so cute. Such a pretty little card. If I would have had a turquoise foil, I probably would have used a turquoise foil on that, just to bring out the blues in those flowers, because pink and purple stand out enough on its own. But I like the back hue of a blue. I don't know, maybe it's because blue is one of my favorite colors. Teal is my absolute favorite color. Like the color of my nail polish. I love that color. I loathe that. I loathe pulling those papers off. It's so time consuming. I think that's why a lot of us use glue, so we don't have to do that. But I wanted these to pop up off the card. So, make it fun. I'll write a little something in there and pop some money in there and mail it to her. And hopefully she'll save the card, knowing that it's handmade by her nana. That glue is really sticky, guys. That's Connect glue from Gina K. Super sticky. It was a very good glue. And I've tried a couple others that I didn't like, and I went back to this one. I am going to try a new one, though. I have one coming. I can't remember what the name of it is, though. It has a bear on it. I bought the big refill bottle because you go through a lot of glue when you start gluing cards. And tape runners. There's not a lot of tape on a tape runner. That's probably why I'm using more glue. Glue is cheaper. There we go. So I popped this up even higher. Look how cute that is. I just love this card. I hope she loves it as much as I enjoyed making it. Sometimes when I put things together, I'm like, oh, that's cute. So, of course, I have to add my stamp. Maybe that'll be her other clue that her nana made it. I'll tell her I made it on the inside of the card when I write my little note to her. So, okay, so now I'm going to show you the other two that I made. These are the other two that I made. I ended up doing another sheet of watercolor that was just a little paler. But one of those flowers that was left over from that one is on the top right there. And then these three were the new ones, and I really loved how soft these were. So that one has a lavender background, and the other one has a hot pink background. I thought it was pretty. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.